Hi, everyone. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's blog post. We're rolling out of July and heading into August, and it means a lot of things for a lot of people. And one of the things it means for many people is preparing and getting ready for the kids going back to school. And I think it's really important this year that we wrap our minds around. Uh, it's an experience that we missed in a good part of the country in 2020. Not everybody sent the kids off to school. Many people were doing in-home schooling, or they were going to school on a limited basis. It changed things around a great deal. And as many more school districts and communities are getting back to a more normal, or whatever normal will be, coming out of coronavirus, it's going to take everybody a little bit of time and a little bit of practice to get back into the rhythm of what it means to, have your kids get ready, prepared, and off to school and physically at the building on time. And I think we take for granted that for many people, it is a thing they're used to. It usually only takes a couple of days to get the kids and the family back on track and on schedule. But I think after the year with coronavirus and all the different things that have happened, that year off can be a little bit more challenging to overcome. So as we approach this, I just wanted to make this blog post because I think not only are there issues that's common for us and our clients and our referral partners, but also that the back to school situation this year is even more important to take a look at what potentially may be mortgage and real estate opportunities associated with people going back to school. Because again, it's been some time and there have been some changes, and some of the children are just going to school for the first time, and these parents are just getting used to the fact that these kids are going away, and it's a huge adjustment in their lives because they haven't experienced this before. Others who have children may have changed school locations or buildings, and it's a whole different pattern of where you go and what the process procedures are, or what even the times are where that school opens and lets out. And I think that can be more of a challenge to overcome than many people think. And I also think, again, getting the parents and the children into the rhythm of, do the kids walk to school? Do they take a bus to school? Do you drive and drop them off? Do they ride a bike? All of these things are possible, and you mix into what's the circumstance, what's the weather, what are the changes? And I think it can't be overlooked that this is something that does require a bit of attention. And I also want to remind you, and it may sound a little bit silly, but the location of where you live. I myself live in a community whose entrance is on a road which is just down the block from a school, and many of the points of passage that we have to get to leaving our community pass other schools, or we have multiple ways of going from point A to point B that may or may not involve passing a school or an area that has a school on it. And I think it's important that we remember that, even our own lives, it becomes almost second nature that certain times of the day, if my wife has to go out or I have to go out, we know what path we're going to take to get to where we need to go, not because it's the shortest path, but how it's impacted on the time it's going to take to get there based upon when school traffic, the parents dropping kids off and picking them up, or kids getting out of school and the crossing guards holding up traffic to get them across the street, or the buses coming in and out of the parking lot. It is a big deal. And I think it is something that many people take for granted until they realize it's something that they can't take for granted. And the other piece is how is that impacting today? Because not every mom and dad or parent or grandparent or person working at school or going to school or involved in an area around the school, their work situation is not the same as it was before the pandemic. Maybe some people have not gone back to the office. And that can be a transitional challenge, because I know for myself, the time between being dad and getting the kids ready and out the door and dropping them off at school, the transition from when I dropped the last child off to driving to the office was my transition from being dad to, mortgage professional. And in that time, that 20 minutes to a half hour it took me to do that was something that you don't realize how important that is for you mentally. And for some people who are dropping their kids off and coming back to the house, and now maybe you've got, dishes to deal with, or a mess to clean up, or whatever it is that you're going to do, or maybe your workspace isn't isolated enough. Maybe you have to do that work because your office is the kitchen table or the dining room table, or something along those lines. And it opens the door to think about opportunities. And that's the long and the short of this conversation is, it's an opportunity for us to reach out to our clients and have conversations about what's going on and how they're doing, number one, and seeing if we can help. Because maybe, the time has come for them to refinance and add a bedroom or a bathroom or a home office, or update or modernize or do something along those lines to make the home function better for the family with the new schedule and the new timing. Maybe it's going to require selling the house and buying another one, because the location of this house or the form and function of this house is never going to be able to be converted to what we need it to be. And then listing and selling the house is the answer to the challenge. So this reminder is, hey, we all share things in common. We all are dealing with going back to school and the impact it has on all of us. And I think you can look forward and saying, as being a professional and being relationship driven, it's not just about our clients, but it's also about our referral partners, because more and more people are working from home. Less and less people are congregating at offices. Some are going back, some aren't. Being aware of how that's all working is something that's important for you to pay attention to, because it could impact the way that you prospect and how you navigate the relationships with your people, as well as staying connected to them in a meaningful way where you can be of help. Because again, people don't always think of all the potential options. There may be people who are having challenges right now, and the solution would be that office, that home bedroom, or that bathroom, or selling and moving. And it never enters their minds because they're wrapped up in just getting through the next day. And without the option or the opportunity or the focus on that, it may never happen. And that's where you can be, specifically schedule yourself to make those calls, have those conversations, see if you can be of any help. And if not, just checking in to show that you care and you're there is often the catalyst for other good things to happen. And it's a way of keeping connected to your database. So hopefully this has helped. It's opened your eyes to some potential opportunities. It helps you plan your back to school activities. And as always, questions or comments, it's Mike at imtcoaching.com. Have yourself a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Take care.